of I won't say a secret, but one of the habits you can get into to be a more effective fundraiser for your organization is the habit of taking notes after meetings and making sure those notes end up in your donor database or CRM. Now, your database or the system you use might call it something different. It might be an action or a follow up note or a note, or the actual name doesn't matter. What matters is you need to be building yourself a system where you take time following that phone call, that Zoom meeting, that face to face meeting, that event, that opportunity you had to connect with the donor, that you're capturing the heart of those conversations and you're putting that in the database. Now, having done this for a long time, I know it can be a tremendous pain to get this stuff done, right? You've got meetings and meetings and meetings. You're really excited about the next meeting. The thought of sitting down and typing those notes out, maybe that doesn't really speak to you. And maybe you've got a donor database that makes that action kind of difficult. I was doing this before there were apps, so I had to do it the hard way. But the point is, this is a really, really critical habit to fall into. It's a great habit to build because of a couple things. First off, the note you're leaving in the database, that's really not for you, right? You were there, you know what happened. Not only is that note for other people, that note is for future members of the team. You want a record of your conversation, your interaction with this donor or this potential donor. And when I say record, I don't mean a transcript where you're writing down word for word everything everyone said. And heck, on with Zoom calls, that actually is pretty easy to do. What's more important is how can you use the note to identify or to put your arms around how this donor is relating to the organization right now. What kind of questions were they asking? What are their concerns? Did you listen? Are you listening for values alignment or opportunities to engage them more? Are they talking about their philanthropic priorities? What are the data points that you can use that will help you make good decisions about this donor in the future? Also, not for nothing, when you're no longer with the organization and the next fundraiser is sitting in that chair and that donor calls, you want to make sure your future team members understand that donor's relationship to the organization. You don't want a donor calling and being treated like they're brand new when in reality they've been giving monthly for the last 17 years. So your note taking is really a gift for the future of your organization. Other two ways to really think about this habit, or two things to keep in mind when you build this habit, is first off, you want to write these things as though the donor or the subject of the meeting is going to read them themselves. And I say this especially as you get involved with major giving, as you work with individual donors. By way of our work, we are often privy to information and personal information about our donors, about their families, their work, their health. You, as the fundraising professional, need to bring your discretion to the party and make sure you're only putting down what's necessary in the database. And this takes some time and some learning, but I've seen it done right and I've seen it done wrong. And for me, the helpful guide is thinking if they're going to read this, would they be happy with what they saw? So use your discretion when you're putting your notes into your database. And the final thing I'll say is you've got to make this as immediate as you can make it, right? If you have a meeting on Monday, ideally you're going to put those notes in that database on Monday. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. In my professional life, I would often pick a time on like a Friday morning and catch up on all my notes for the previous 5 days. Catch them all that way. And there's a lot more technology now. I sound like an incredibly old person, but a lot of technology now to make it easier. You can do voice memos. Most of your larger donor database systems have an app where you can put those notes in, from your car immediately following the meeting. The specific methodology isn't as important as making sure you're doing it as frequently and as currently as possible, because you want to make sure your thoughts are fresh about what happened at that meeting. So again, habits to build, putting those notes in immediately, having a good sense of kind of professional discretion when you do put those notes in, and writing those notes because you're setting those notes to the future of your mission, your organization. These are really actually really simple habits to get into, but once you have them, it will make you an incredibly effective fundraiser because you will always be thinking about, what am I going to capture from this conversation? What am I hearing from this donor that's telling me something about their values, about their interest in what we do, about their life that might impact their ability to give or their interest in giving? It's also going to help you kind of keep in mind, like, I not only do I have to write these things down, but I want to write a next step. I want to have a next step in my action item. So if you're going out to lunch with Sally on Monday, maybe you know, okay, that means on the next Monday, I told her I was going to send her a follow-up call or invite her to a specific event. It's keeping those actions and those next steps all woven together so you really understand your strategy for continuing to work with this individual as you engage them with your mission. If this seems a little uncertain to you or maybe a little uncomfortable to you, I would love to help. One of the things I do with clients is help them build these fundraising systems where we're building these habits that not only make them more effective fundraisers, but help them raise more money and help them to do more with and for their mission. So, think about your note taking, and if I can help, reply to this video and let's get started. Keep up the great work. We'll talk to you soon.